Wow.
Oh my God. Okay. Let me get a glass of tea right quick, y'all. Mm, mm, woo, mm,
Oh my God.
mm.
Oh my God. We're gonna get it right.
I got to get right. Oh, God, oh, some of that. Let go. Yeah, I got to get it. Oh, I've been sitting here. Oh my God. We just been chicken chatting for
35 minutes?
35 minutes.
Wow.
35 minutes. Oh my God, this has never happened. And we're okay, for those of you who have been here since Jesus left, I deeply apologize to y'all. Oh my
Okay.
God. I thought we were on air and we were not on air. So, oh my God, I feel super stupid. I don't know what the hell. Now, there we go. Here come the comments. There we go. Now we're doing good. Okay, guys, welcome. I apologize to you all. I thought we were on air the whole time. Maybe I need to start smoking that stuff. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, but we were not. Okay, so I deeply apologize. That's on me, and I apologize to our guests as well. So we got to start all over again. So I know brother Jamie just pulled over to the side of the road somewhere. So you're gonna have to stay a little longer than expected and stuff because you're just getting here. And so we got to start all over.
That's all right. Go
Okay.
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
It's okay.
Okay, we got to start all over. Okay, so uh, briefly, oh my God, Jesus, uh, the Donald Trump cannot be reinstated to office. Stop, Leah, I see you laughing. Donald Trump cannot be reinstated to office, and that's because of one reason. Donald Trump, in the 2020 election, hear me good, lost the election. Over 80 million Americans said Biden and Kamala go to the White House. All Republicans who continue to dish out, not no baseless claims, to dish out lies should be immediately removed from office because they are part of the problem with this country. Trump, Donald Duck, no, he didn't do nothing the first 4 years. And so you think we're going to let him sit there for 4 more years and do nothing but stir up racism and hatred? So whatever he says, he's going to be reinstated in August. Heaven is backing me up. He's lying through his teeth. It's just not going to happen. Okay, we're through with that. Now, we have a white girl and a white boy. The white girl is 12 years old. Uh, the girl is 14. They get into a standoff, a shootout with Florida deputies, and it lasts for about 30 some minutes. For about 30 some minutes. Okay, but mind you now, black, white, male, or female, nobody wants to harm the children. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody. However, when a child steps into the shoes of an adult, then sometimes we have to meet them on that level. We have to. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, they engaged in a shootout for about 30 some minutes. The girl was shot. She's in the hospital. She's going to live. After being placed in custody, both said, we knew what we were doing. We saw y'all pulled up. We knew you were cops when you pulled up, and we were trying to kill you. So now, there's this campaign going to help the kids because they have mental issues and we don't want to hurt them. They're going through some things. One deputy can be heard saying, don't make me do this, don't make me do this, don't make me do this. The girl is shooting directly at him. She has an AK-47 and a shotgun. Now, my point to bring tonight's story up, whether you like it or not, the truth is the truth, whether you believe it or not, had these been black kids, they'd be in a damn freezer right now. It's as simple as that. But they went through all of their training from the academy not to harm these kids, these white kids. If these were black kids, again, they would be dead by now. Okay, Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer who was convicted on April 25th of second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter, has said, I've done enough time for killing that nigga. I want to be given credit for time served, put me on probation, and send me home. The paper, this lawyer is filing. Keep in mind, that he was convicted on the 25th of April. He hasn't been sentenced, and he will not be sentenced until June 25th. But already he says, I've done enough time. I've done enough time. So what that says is that I've done enough time for that nigger, damn black America. I need to go home. When I saw that today, if I wasn't pissed off, when I saw that, I was. I mean, the audacity to even file such papers in the court for credit for time served.
Yeah.
It's not a do-over with George Floyd. We can't bring him back. He's dead.
Yeah. Yes.
That's right.
You held your knee on his neck for over 9 minutes, and when the paramedic showed up trying to check his pulse, your knee still, you wouldn't move.
Mm.
Begged for his life. He called out to his mama, mama, I'm on my way. The prosecutors are seeking to give him 30 years in prison, but he says he needs to go home.
Mm.
Am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised. I'm not. With all the racism and hate that's going on in this country right now, I am not surprised. Some months ago, I was talking with my sister Bernadette in California when all this first kicked off, and I said, "This is not America. Things like this does not happen." And she said, "Bro, she's coming, bro, stop. That's what she said. This is America. This is America." And that was a nugget for me because she's right. This is America. This is America. America cut loose. White America, when Donald Duck entered into the White House, he wasn't there because of his policies. He was there because he spoke and speaks the language of racist white America. And when he entered that White House, he gave the closet racists the courage to throw the robe and the hood down in the middle of the living room floor and walk out the door and say, "I don't like you niggas either." That's why he was there. Because he dumb as a box of rocks. Super stupid. Racism went on the rise when he took office. Hatred, white supremacist group went on the rise. That's why he couldn't condemn the Proud Boys. Because you cannot condemn who you are. It's as simple as that. And with voter suppression right now with blacks, you have to understand what's going on in Texas and Georgia. And y'all to blame. All of y'all sitting right there. All of y'all sitting right there to blame. Because you're black and you showed up and you voted. You showed up and you showed out for the first time ever. And that pissed them off. You turned the state of Georgia blue twice. And they don't like that. So now we got new voting laws coming up saying if Emma's in the voting line for 2 hours and she's thirsty, you can't give her no water or you're going to go to jail. We're taking up some of the ballot boxes so there won't be a lot of them for you to cast your votes. You got to go way over there, and some of y'all ain't want to do that. Because y'all showed up and you showed out and you said, we're black and we're tired of the foolishness. And so now, when our voting rights are now under attack, really what's going on is that they want our freedom papers back. That's what they want. That's what they want. Because things have changed in the United States, and they never, ever expected this. Never, ever. So I applaud you all. Okay, I'm moving fast, you all. Oh my God, the viewers, because for 30-some minutes, this family had me thinking I was live on air, and we wasn't. And I resent that. I totally resent that. Okay, but tonight's top story deals with a pastor. Okay, if somebody's sewing on something, y'all want to wait till we get off? Thank you. Okay, a pastor has been sentenced to 75 years in prison for doing the unthinkable. Now, again, as we said in the beginning, I'm just going to wait till the song that Hacksaw going to this job. Okay, there you go. Okay,
Who is Jamie?
I think it's Jamie.
Yeah.
Leah dismissed on you.
You making noise.
There you go. There you
Oh,
go.
there you go. Good. Oh, wait a minute. No, why is his mic muted? You muted your mic or something.
Okay.
Okay, Jamie, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. So anyway, a pastor has been given 75 years in prison for allegations that came about from a 15-year-old girl that said the pastor molested her and raped her over and over and over again. And it started in 2015 when she confided in her mother and saying, Pastor Ronald Wayne Mitchell of the Body of Christ Ministry has been raping me, molesting me, fondling me. But wait, Mom, he also did it to my sister. Well, the sister, she's here tonight, says that's a lie. It never happened. So we have two sisters, and we have two different stories from the sisters. Who's lying? Who's telling the truth? Why would a sister come back for a pastor or anyone that was molesting her and claim that he didn't? I mean, I would think that would be super stupid.
Yeah.
But why would a 15-year-old girl go to her mother and then talk to investigators and say, he did it? He did it in Las Vegas, Galveston, and he told me if I ever told about him molesting me and raping me, that God would kill me. She alleges the first encounter, as far as sex is concerned, happened in 2015. I think right before Thanksgiving is when the first sexual encounter occurred. And after that one, he asked her if she was ready for the second one, and she didn't want to, but she said yes because she was scared of Pastor Ronald Wayne Mitchell. And he is now doing 75 years in prison. And I wish whoever's doing that movie would stop in the name of Jesus. That's usually why I stop.
Jamie, because is it raining outside?
It is.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the
maybe.
rain we're hearing.
That's rain.
Okay.
Oh,
Let me mute the mic until you speak to me then.
Okay, yeah,
That's
thanks. Okay, yeah, it's nothing we can do about that. That's God, and so I'm in enough trouble with God, so I'm gonna prove that. Okay, I want to get to my good friend, the pastor's wife, Sandra Mitchell. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Mr. Scott.
I know we just did this 37 minutes ago, huh? Okay, how long have you and the pastor been married?
Oh, we've been married for 23 years now.
Okay. Tell me something about, let's take pastor off. Let's take the prefix down. Just tell us something about Ron. Who is he?
Ron, he's a good person. He's a good person. He has a good heart. He has a big heart. He loves people. He loves helping people. You know, just any way that he can be of a service to them. He does have a service heart. And I'm not saying that because I'm his wife. I knew him before I became his wife. And he has a big heart, a true heart.
Okay. Now, the church that we're speaking of is inside of you all's home, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And along with having a church there, other family members have came there to stay, and I'm assuming that you all were doing that because you're men and women of the cloth, and you were trying to help people get their lives back on track.
Yes.
Okay, so that's why the doors was open, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, earlier when I asked you when did you first hear about the allegations against your husband, what date did you tell me?
I told you November the 1st, 2016.
So how did you come to find out about it on that day?
Someone called us. We were on our way home from out of town from vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And someone called us. Some of the members called us from the house and told us what was going on. That was during when the SWAT team was there.
Okay. Okay. And so that was your first time hearing anything about that?
Yes, that was my first time hearing anything about it.
Okay. About how many members was there from the SWAT team, you know?
Roughly about 50. Maybe
How many?
60. About 50 to 60.
Yeah, it was probably, it seemed like they whole county came. It was like it was like a little army.
Yeah, they had a tank truck, helicopters, guns drawn. They had some that had like military.
And they said they was coming for one man, but they brought all of that for one man. I mean,
okay, but Jamie,
it really seemed like they whole county.
Okay, but Jamie, when you say they came for one man, they came for one man because he was a terrorist? Was this because of the sexual allegations against him? Because if that's what they was coming for, I think that's somewhat out of the norm.
Yeah, they came because of allegations that was made.
Yes, sir.
They didn't come out of evidence that they had or different things like that. They came out of some allegations that people had told them. And so they came like they was coming after someone who was violent. That's the way they came. And they came with guns drawn.
Right.
And we all was there that morning, except for the pastor and his wife, Celexia. But we was all there, and how the way they pulled the women and the children out of the house and had everybody sitting down in the grass 4 days in the morning out in the cold, and it was wet out there, you know, like we was some kind of slaves or something. It wasn't right.
That's right.
So they raided the house on alleged sexual allegations. So I'm assuming, Jamie, this when that happened, that was your first time hearing about the alleged accusations as well?
Yes.
We
didn't know why they was there.
Okay. Was the girl still in the home then?
No.
Okay. How long has she been gone?
No.
2 months.
Like 3 months?
2 months.
About 2, 3 months.
September.
Because allegedly she confided in her mother that in October that it happened.
Can I share with you what the statement said that she gave?
Yes, sir.
And the statement said, because I also did a Facebook Live about this here with a couple of them, and I read there that she actually, the mother was brought a dream from her ex-boyfriend, and in the dream he said something about her and the pastor having some kind of relation. So the mother went to her. She did not come to the mother like this was something that she's been going through or something that she's been dealing with. That wasn't the case. The mother came to her, and it was like the mother and the ex husband, which they had some issues against the pastor, and they colluded together and came to this girl. But this is what was written. This was her statement that she gave Montgomery County. She said that in the statement, they said the mother went to the daughter and asked her, did this happen? And then the mother is giving this account, saying that this is what her daughter said, and that's the way that went.
So the court documents are wrong when they said the child went to the mother.
Yes, that's wrong.
Yes,
That's wrong.
Okay.
And it was actually brought out in court that it was brought out in court that it started with the dream that the ex-husband had, and he called them, and that's when the daughter so-called admitted that it was true.
And then after she hesitated. Yeah. After she hesitated some, then she admitted it was true, and then that's when she said it happened to me too.
Okay. I want to speak with Celexia right now, the sister. Okay, your sister.
Yes.
Whom I'm assuming you love, right?
Yes, I really do. I love her.
When you all were coming up as kids, what was your relationship like?
We were like two peas in a pod.
Okay.
We really close. We for lack of a better word, it was like we knew what each other was gonna say before we said it. Sometimes we finished each other's sentences, so we were really, really close. I loved playing with her, and we had fun times. And Leah there, she was also, we was like a clique, so we had a lot of fun times together.
Okay, so and Jamie, I'm gonna get back to you in a minute. I want you to explain that dream. Okay, but when your sister says that she was fungal and she was raped by Pastor Ronald Wayne Mitchell, is she telling the truth or is she lying?
She's lying. She is
when
lying.
Because says that not only did he fungal her and rape her, he did the exact same thing to you. Is she telling the truth or is she lying?
She is lying. We told each other everything.
So is this your stepsister or your biological sister?
This is my biological sister.
Okay.
Yeah, we grew up together. We told each other everything, every secret. We told each other. If something was bothering us, we told each other. So for her to come out and say this, that this happened to her and it happened to me, it really shocked me. It really did.
Now I remember when I think it was Mrs. Mitchell who contacted us for help, and believe it or not, allegations like these, some are true and some are not, but lies happen more often in the courtroom on issues like this than people would believe.
Yeah.
A girl some years ago, I think she was about 8 years old, and she gave a statement to investigators that her daddy had been molesting her, and he did this and he did that. Okay, well, the dad was found guilty and sentenced to prison for a long, long, long time. So this little girl was carrying a burden at that young age. And the burden was not that she had sent her father to prison. The burden was that she had sent her father to prison on a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she became 18, she went to the DA's office. And I'm thinking in her mind, all she was waiting for was that day when she would go from a teenager to womanhood. Because I'm going to tell what happened and what didn't happen. So she went to the DA's office. And she told them that it never happened. Well, why did you do it? Basically, Dad was getting ready to divorce Mom, and she told me to say this and say that. So they did another investigation, found out that she did lie. Dad was released. I think they appeared on CNN together. And I think she asked her dad if he would forgive her. He said there was nothing to forgive because he knew what she did. But that right there can destroy a family.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, I'm not saying whether the Pastor Mitchell is guilty or innocent, but what I am saying is that we should weigh, both sides.
Yeah.
Really don't. It's like with us, we never do one-sided stories. We try to contact them to no avail. We'll try again tomorrow. That we have our last try, because sometimes even in interrogation, if the police are skilled in what they're doing, they would have you in there for 12, 13, 15 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Where you was, I did do this. I really did do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some even write out statements that they did it. But why did they confess to a crime they didn't commit? That you have to ask them. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens and stuff. So, and I guess it had to be devastating with the sisters, especially you, Celexia, because when the last time you spoken with your sister?
The last time I spoke with her is when I went to her job. This is after this maybe about been a year or so now, but this is after the trial and everything. And I went to her job and you know, told her, I said, Taya, I know that you lied. You know, I know that, you know, our stepfather, you know, had the dream and that he told it to you. I said, I know that, you know, you lied. And the look on her face, she was shocked that I knew. And she said, but Celexia, he's already in prison. I said, no, but you can come home and tell the truth. And she was just so shocked. She had no words to say, and that was it. And I'm just, you know, saddened that she has not came forward and told the truth. You know, it really breaks my heart.
Okay, so you are still in close contact with the Mitchells, correct?
Yes.
Where are you now on this video?
I'm actually at the home, the Mitchell's home.
Okay, all right, okay. So that's I guess that's how strong your love is for the family and your belief that you know the pastor didn't do anything like this here,
Yes.
because you're still hanging out.
No, I know he didn't, because she said every time that this happened to her, I was there, and this did not happen. I was there. We did, like I said, me and my sister did everything together. Anytime we watched a movie and the pastor and his wife was there, I was there. The pastor's sister-in-law, Maxine, she was there. Or it was either a group setting, like the whole church was there. So we did every single thing together.
Okay, before we get to Leah, Celexia, let me ask you this. This has to be, I'm thinking, a somewhat large home. So where was your sister sleeping and where did you sleep?
I slept, both me and my sister, we slept in the same room together when we were downstairs, but then when everyone we was in the guest room downstairs, but then when everyone moved, I went upstairs. It was an upstairs apartment. I went upstairs with Maxine. No, Ty did too. Yeah, she went up there. We both went up there. It was actually a lot of people in the upstairs apartment.
Okay. The rooms. Where did you sleep and where did your sister sleep?
Both me and my sister, when it was when we were there, the first 21 days, we slept in the guest room. It was a guest room, 2 guest rooms that had a connecting bathroom with Jack and Jill. So we slept in the guest room. Okay.
And then eventually your sister was in the bedroom with Maxine. Am I
upstairs,
right?
yes,
Upstairs.
yes. While she was doing her schooling.
Okay, so Maxine, when she was in the room with you, did she give you any indication that Pastor Mitchell was doing things that he shouldn't be doing?
And no, she did not.
Never did. So she was just a happy child. I mean, a normal child, so to say.
Yeah, just a normal child, happy child.
Leah.
Yes.
I saw the video. We talked about it earlier. That was on your channel. You have a YouTube channel. What's the name of your channel?
Imani Crumbly.
Imani Crumbly. Okay. Yes. All right. So, and what is that channel devoted to? What do you do? What do you talk about?
I guess just anything that I feel like doing at the moment. I don't really have. I kind of just did it for fun. It wasn't like looking for anything. I mean, we were at the beginning of the pandemic, and we were in the house all day, every day. So it was like talk to my friend. We was like, well, let's make a video, you know. Okay. So we kind of started it from there.
Okay. Well, when I watched the video, Celexia sent it to me. you open up.
Yes.
And you were very passionate about who was about to come on your channel and what that person was about to say.
Yes.
So why did she ask to come on your channel, or did you say come on the channel? How did this come about?
It was just a conversation that we had. We kind of started talking about ways that we could get the story out there so that people can hear it and know about the unjust, basically everything that happened, the wrong that happened. And so we decided to do a video on it.
Very touching video. So if I ask you right now, do you think this is something Pastor Mitchell would do? What would be your answer?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Do you think Pastor Mitchell was given a fair trial?
No, I definitely do not.
What color was the jury?
I couldn't answer that question. I could answer based off of what I heard, but not what I know. I wasn't in there.
Okay. Who was in there?
This is Yolanda, his
Okay,
daughter.
Yolanda.
Hi, good evening. The grand jury where you go to be indicted, that was an all-white grand jury. And in the trial, there were only 2 Black people. But as far as the indictment, they were all white.
Okay.
The grand jury, I'm sorry, grand jury.
Okay. Jamie, I didn't know. I could be wrong. I don't know everything. I didn't know that we. I'm not saying it happened in this case, but it kind of seemed like it may have. I don't know. I didn't know that in the United States that we can convict people on hearsay.
I've never heard it. I've seen it, but it was in kangaroo courts.
Gotcha.
I've seen it, and I've seen it in trials where when maybe I saw something about Black people being done wrong, things like that's when I've seen it.
Okay.
But as far as the justice system really promotes that you're going to get a fair trial. They promote that you have to have evidence to be convicted. But in this case, I actually saw this firsthand that they didn't have any evidence. He had professional witnesses that came up, and the judge and the DA's office was working to shut these people mouth. I've never seen this. If they are about the truth, so that they don't wrongfully convict a person, they're going to make sure that all of the truth come out. But in my reading, all of the motions that went forth before the trial, man, they put all of the evidence in limine. That means that this stuff cannot be talked about in court. It cannot come out, basically. That's what that legal term is. And so once they did that, now, first of all, from the beginning, it is said that you have a right to a speedy trial. He tried to get a speedy trial. They would not allow that because they didn't have anything. So they needed that time to conjure up some things. So he didn't get his speedy trial. So he also had the right to with the grand jury, he had the right to even contest that. He didn't get that right either. And so there's so many civil rights that was violated in this. But we're dealing with what's right and wrong here. I mean, I haven't even gotten to the evidence. There was no evidence. They went to the hotel that the girl alleged that he did this. And even the hotel said, we've never seen this man. Even the hotel could not give witness to this account. I mean, how much more evidence? But they didn't bring that up into the court. The jury, it was so much evidence that the jury didn't even hear to make a right judgment. And I don't understand, how can a jury can't make a right judgment when they don't have all of the findings and all of the evidence.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw in this case. And it was really a kangaroo court.
Yes,
yeah. Can I just add something to what Jamie's speaking of, Mr. Scott?
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
When he touched on about, you have to hear the whole story in order to make the right judgment.
Yes, ma'am.
He touched on about motions, things being put in limine. And something that's very important, like we've been talking about, the Montgomery County is saying that all these allegations happened to Celexia and to Taya at the same time. Now, if you want the truth to come out, you would want to hear from both sides of the story. And they purposely put Celexia's testimony in limine. Yes. So even when our defense attorneys tried to bring it out, they got immediately overruled. The judge sustained the overrulings every single time. We couldn't bring anything out about even Ronald's medical condition. He's an elderly man. There's no way he can do what this girl is saying he did physically. Right. It's like physically impossible. But they wouldn't let experts touch on that. So it's like in Texas, we've spoken to many attorneys, and they saying you can't be convicted with hearsay, because they want victims to know you can come and tell what happened to you, even if the evidence is not technically there. But you still have to hear all the evidence concerning the case. And in this case, everything that was really vital, the investigation of the police, they didn't even question Celexia. So they didn't even ask her, but y'all saying this happened to her. You didn't even ask her, is this true or not? To even bring, that's what I was about to share, to even bring into court before the jury to see if reasonable doubt can even be presented. So it is really a kangaroo court.
Okay, are you saying that the investigators did not speak with Celexia? She was not allowed to testify in the court, or both?
Both. She was not allowed to testify concerning anything concerning her with Ronald Mitchell and Taya. That was not allowed. And then as far as the investigation, the lead detective, they did not question her about these allegations.
Okay, Celexia, tell me something about your father.
Yes. Well, my father, he works for the county. He is actually Montgomery County, Texas. He actually works as a juvenile. Well, first he was a juvenile probation officer, and then he was promoted to a adult probation officer in a supervisor position. So he has had dealings with every judge, and specifically the judge that tried Pastor Mitchell. He and while he was a juvenile probation officer, he had many dealings with her. He also the day after Pastor Mitchell turned himself in, he called me, and he told me he was trying to get me. My father was trying to get me to come with him, and I was just reassuring him that everything was okay. I'm fine, and that I'm gonna stay here. That these are lies. I'm gonna stay here and help fight on my pastor's behalf. And then he got really rowdy and upset. He said, "Look, if you don't come with me right now, I'm gonna make his life a living hell." And I begged my father not to get involved. I said, "Look, please don't get involved in this." I said, these are lies, and he wouldn't hear it. So with that threat, I know that he has those kind of capabilities because of the connections. Mm-hmm. And even when I was on the stand, they asked me, who were my parents, and I gave my mother's name, my father's name. And soon after I gave my father's name, the judge asked, "Is that the same Alonzo Humphrey that works in this building? I've received emails from him this morning." And so that was just like, when I heard that, like, she received emails from her, but nothing, and it was during the trial. So but yeah, that was left out of the transcript.
Okay, so the judge said this in open court when she asked who was he, and then, I received emails from him this morning?
Yes.
Okay, did the judge go into what those emails were about?
No, she did not. But no, she did not go into details about what those emails were about.
Mm-hmm.
No one questioned it. It was just a statement that she threw out there, and yet it's not in the transcript.
What the judge said is not in the transcript?
No.
Okay, let me ask you this for the sake of time. Tell me about the DNA that they found that would use to help convict Pastor Mitchell. Was there any DNA?
No, the DNA was negative.
Did you ever go out of town with Pastor Mitchell, you and your sister and others?
Yes, me and my sister and others. It was always others. We always went as a group.
So at any time, hotel or wherever you stand at home, did you and your sister ever be alone in any room, anywhere with Pastor Mitchell?
No. His wife was always there. Or it was either Maxine or Yolanda, or it was always someone else there.
Okay. The dream.
Huh?
I think you and I talked a lot about the dream, right, Celexia?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to tell me about the dream, who had the dream, what happened in the dream, and what happened next.
Okay. So the one who had the dream is my stepfather. And now this is something I feel that my mother should have known. My stepfather has always had weird dreams. This is just known. He's always had weird dreams. And he's always had weird dreams after he would either smoke some weed. So when he had this dream that something happened to my sister. So he calls my mother and say, hey, I had this dream that, this happened to, my sister. Well, he said her name, my sister's name. And my mother, she was like, okay, well, let me go ask. So she goes and asks my sister, and my sister hesitates, but then goes along with it. And after she goes along with it, she said, oh, it also happened to Celexia. So,
okay, so what happened what was really happening in the dream?
In the dream, it said that that my sister was having sex with Pastor Mitchell. It was just like she was having sex with Pastor Mitchell, and that she was molested. So he tells this to my mother. And honestly, really, for my mother to just go along with it, it doesn't make sense to me, because she knows him. She knows how he have these weird dreams. But she goes and she asks my sister. My sister hesitates and said that it happened. And then she said it also happened to Celexia.
So you knew about this before the pastor was arrested, correct?
No, I didn't know about this. How I actually found out was I was told that this is what happened.
When were you told?
I was told November the 1st that the house was raided because of these false allegations against Pastor Mitchell. Then when I met up with Pastor Mitchell's lawyer, he began to tell me, how this came about, and he actually told me about the dream.
Okay. This next question is for Mrs. Mitchell. Allegedly, in court document says that a church member also notified authorities after they were notified, allegedly, what your husband had done to the girls. Do you know who this member was, and why would they lie if it didn't happen?
That a member notified.
It says a church member was told about what was going on, and the church member eventually contacted Magnolia Police Department. Good. So that the girl can be removed from. So the girl was finally removed from the church in September. Is this the same girl we're talking about? Your sister, Alexia?
Yes, September. Yeah, that's when he left.
So,
He left
so
September.
what he went back to? Let me refreshing y'all. What he just went back to is after your mother had left, and she contacted Montgomery County,
Okay.
and then she came back to the house. We were there. She came to the house to get the sister. The sister didn't want to go.
Yeah.
She did not want to go. She told her she didn't want to go.
Yeah, she did.
She did.
The officer that her mother brought to the house made her go with her mother.
That's right.
Because she was 16 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she told her.
No, she was 17 at this time. Wasn't she?
No,
she was 17. She wasn't 18.
She was 16.
Right. She was still a minor. She still wasn't 18. So that's what the mother is, the one that contacted Montgomery County.
Yeah.
And then she went to the house with the police officer to get the child out, to get her the youth out of the house.
Okay, so she was a member of the church, the mother, right?
Right. Yes. Yes. And that was 2 months before the allegation.
Okay. Mrs. Mitchell, this next question is for you. Reports that you may have been taking the child to receive birth control and pretending that you was her mother.
Yes, that's all of that is false. But I have taken them to doctor's appointment. As different ones of us have taken them to doctor's appointments because a lot of times the mother wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the evidence actually proved that was a lie. That's why the charges were actually dropped against Ms. Mitchell.
Yeah.
Leah, your time at the church. Tell me about the church. Tell me about the pastor.
The pastor he's a kind-hearted man. He's genuine. He cares about everyone. He puts his heart into everything that he does for us. He never wants anyone to feel left out or feel basically like they're not a part of, who we are or what we do. He's a good man. Very kind-hearted.
Okay.
Can I add, Mr. Scott? Can I add to what she said? Because the same, man she's talking about is the one that paid these same people car note and that was giving them money, that was helping them. This is what he did for everybody.
That's right.
And that's why we're all like, we can't believe that they would even do this. Right. He only treated everybody with love, with kindness,
and with respect.
And with respect. Only thing he asked everybody, you said everybody confessed that they wanted to live a life for the Lord, and all of these people that made these accusations were former ministers, and they left the way. They left the way. They didn't want to continue what their first confession was. But instead of them just leaving, they had bitterness in their heart. That's what it all boiled down to.
Yeah, said that the pastor was strict on a lot of things and stuff. But with all due respect, I think a lot of pastors are, because what we normally do throughout life, not thinking about sinning or doing wrong, pastors will not allow in their homes.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
So that is a problem. Another thing that bugs me, Jamie, is this here. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying it can't happen, brother. But it's kind of perplexing to me that the dream went to the mother's husband. and not the mother. Which God can do what they're going to do if God is in the midst of it. Okay, because I'm just saying that. But I just found that kind of strange that the Heavenly Father would lay that to him, who already has a problem with the pastor.
Yeah.
You're right.
Who already done departed from him and everything. I mean, God would, it seemed like, I mean, I understand what you're saying, because I'm like, it seemed like God might even show his wife, you know, that he's not being faithful, you know. But, you know, I understand exactly.
But you know what, Mr. Scott,
Yes,
we read through the transcripts, because I wasn't in there, because I was a witness. I wasn't in there sitting through the trial, so we read through the transcripts. But I remember my stepfather saying, from reading it, that it was his mission to take down the body of Christ ministry and to expose Pastor Mitchell. He said it was his mission. So and my mother worked with him, and all, you know, of the former disgruntled members, you know, they worked along with him. But this was stated in the trial. Nobody said anything.
Now, I also want you to understand that she could not testify, but they did let her get up there on the stand, but they would not allow her to speak on what happened with this case. That's the thing. They stayed away from the actual case that they are alleging against him. If you go through those transcripts, you don't hardly see them talking about this case. They're more trying to bash his character. They're more trying to talk about religion. Attack the religion, and it was all wrong. They brought in one of his messages, and they shared, what was it, like a piece of a sentence that he said, and they did not even allow the jury to understand the text of what he said. This is so wrong on so many fronts, and I'm hoping that somebody hear what is being said and be outraged. Now, I love everyone. I'm gonna fight for a female. It don't matter if it's my wife, my sister, my auntie, whoever, you know. At the same time, I don't want what has been established to help battered women to be done wrong. People, and that's the problem. And we can't allow it to happen like that.
I totally agree. So therefore, it was no need for that individual to even take the stand, in my opinion. So could we say that this may have also, I think Yolanda just said, it's been an attack on his religion?
It is. Because I've been in this ministry since 1997. I've known him since I'm in my 40s. I met him when I was 19 years old. And I've seen hundreds upon thousands of people come through this ministry. And not one other person has ever said he's done anything like this. And even when they brought these allegations out, the DA was on the local news saying that he know there are other victims. But nobody else came forward. There were no other victims. And I'm not a professional, but from what I've seen and heard, most people who have this condition, who like to sexually assault children, it's a pattern. There's some type of history. There is no history. He's not perfect. He's had his issues in life, but he's never done nothing like this. We're not. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
No. I just want to add also, because Mr. Scott may not know, but they plastered his face all over the news in Texas, in all of the states. They plastered his face. He in the New York Times even wrote a piece about it. It was all in New York. I mean, and so they thought that he was going to get a fair trial. Oh no, man! It was a kangaroo court.
I told my wife, I think I told Mrs. Mitchell as well. I remember this case because when it first happened, we covered this case, and so when I got to reading, like, I've already done this here. I'm somewhat familiar with it and stuff. But when we get to which I'm still confused on why a SWAT team came out to get someone on alleged sexual allegations. I can see if they were drug dealers, something real violent, serial killer and stuff. They coming like that, but that's kind of perplexing, along with this, the SWAT team. But tell me, what did they take from the house that you all feel had nothing to do with this case?
Tell you how we feel?
No, tell them what they took from the house
that you feel had nothing to do with the case. Anyone can answer that.
Oh yeah, they took our guns. I mean, because we believe in being protected. They seized all our money. They took our computers, our telephones, things that just didn't have nothing to do with this case. But you're asking, my husband is there, and he wants to just share real quick why they did all that.
Yes, how you doing? How you doing, Mr. Scott?
I'm great, brother. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. I can tell you why they did it. He was a black man that had a very nice home in a predominantly white racist county of Montgomery County.
Yes.
They wanted to make a big show of it. Yeah. It was ridiculous and over the top what they did.
It was. It really was.
Yeah.
You know what? This is this has got to be hard for everybody involved, because this gets into not just the church, it gets into the family.
Yes.
And you have two sisters. I mean, there can really be no harmony there, because one is saying this and one is saying that. And if it really didn't happen, then the child was coerced into saying this and saying that. But again, it is destructive for the family.
Yes.
And then to send someone to prison for something that they did not do. The law states that we don't convict on he said, she said.
Right.
Some kind of evidence whatsoever. So we know from what I've read that there was no physical evidence, especially DNA. But I guess our biggest problem, and a lot of my viewers' problem, would be, why would the child say this happened if it didn't happen? If we can go and say, okay, not just because she was told to say it happened, but what other reason could she want to say something like this?
Well, I would like to say this, and then Celexia, please share. The child was really a child in mind. So at that time, I mean, she was 17 years old, but in the mind, not. And so when her mother tells her,
okay, but she said it happened when she was 15, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they said it happened, but this allegation didn't come up until she was 17. 16 turning 17.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. And so at this time, once her mother told her about this here, she was definitely coerced into this. Even on the stands, Mr. Scott, the things that she was sharing was like, I mean, because they asked her about, what happened and about how he did certain things. And she couldn't really say, because she never experienced that. But she said what they told her to say. And even her saying it was not in a way that somebody who experienced it. It was like somebody who had been told. And you can tell when if somebody never experienced a sexual act and you tell them to say something, you can definitely tell the difference.
Exactly. And my thing is this here. It can happen either way, but if we're trying to frame someone, I'm saying if. I'm not saying he's guilty, I'm saying he's innocent. But if we're doing that, then I think we would, with all due respect, we would go to the weaker in the family to come and bring the allegations forward, right?
Yes.
But we would have to be super stupid to involve the other child that we know, no, not her. But it probably would have been more believable for some if it only happened to the one girl and not the other. But what makes it perplexing is that one said it did, and the other sister said it didn't. So if we're trying to set someone up, I mean, it's a weak game. You know, I mean, that's just my opinion. You know, and so,
Yeah.
Leo, when you hear all of what's going on, do you ever wonder, besides what you all have said, what else could have been a reason for the sister to make these false allegations?
I do. There are definitely questions that I've had as to why, what would make this, what would make her say what she said, like what all went on to make you come forth and accuse someone of something that they didn't do. It's just, it was definitely shocking when I heard everything that happened. Because I mean, especially knowing her for so long, 15 years, and then all of a sudden this one thing. I mean, like Celexia said earlier, we were so close. We told each other everything. And when you grow up with someone, you know their pattern, the way they do things, the way they say things. You know when someone is lying, you know when someone is not, because you spend your entire life 15, 16 years with this person. And you mean to tell me that something happened to you that I don't know about, especially when we lived in the same place together. So to hear that all of this happened was just, it was just, I don't even really have the words to even put how it really made me feel.
Can I add something right quick, Mr. Scott? Because she was sharing how they shared everything with each other, but she never shared this here. Now she did share with them about a little boy that she got with. She shared that with them, but the courts wouldn't allow that to come out either.
Whoa, that's heavy. So
yeah, the courts, that's another thing that they put in limine. So the jury couldn't make a decision based off of that they heard, because they didn't want the jury to hear this truth.
So this was a sexual encounter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it with a boy or a man?
It was with the boy.
A boy.
They were around the same age, maybe a year apart, but around the same age.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Mr. Scott, this is Maxine.
When Tanya stayed with, when she stayed with me, she shared this with me. She was came to me one night and she said, "I want to share something with you. Can I share something with you?" I said, "Sure, you can tell me anything." And she began to share with me about a boy that she had been sexually involved with when she would go to her biological father's house. They would not allow me to say that on the stand. They didn't want me to tell that on the stand, but I blurted it out anyway, because I wanted it to be heard. But she told me that at this time she was, 15? And he was 19. She told me his name is Alejandro. And that when she would go to her father's house, she told me that she was living two different lives. Now, these were her own words. She was living two different lives. When she would be at the church, she would dress like we did at the church. But when she would go to her biological father's house, she would change clothes. She would wear the short skirts and the little tank tops like the world did. Now, these are her own words. These are things that she shared with me.
But her character was put in limine.
But it was all put in limine. They wouldn't let any of that come out.
So her father was okay with her dressing that way?
He was okay with that. And she said that he knew about the boy. And I said, "Well, what did he say?" You know, and he said, "Oh, my baby's in love." That was his reaction.
Okay, he knew about the boy, but did he know about the sexual encounter with the two?
Yes, he knew everything. This is what she told me. Her stepfather knew everything. He would even allow her biological father, she said he would even let her use the car. Now, she didn't have a driver's license or anything, but she said he would let her use his car, to go see the boy.
And they all lived in the same
in the neighborhood, right?
So, did you relay this information to investigators, Mrs. Mitchell?
Yes, this is Maxine.
Maxine, yes.
Yes, I did. And they did not want this to come out. They actually told
me. Lemony.
They actually told me you can't say that on the stand, but I said it anyway.
I believe we're going to have to bring you all back on again before we get out of here. I don't know if he's guilty or innocent, but I will say this, that I don't believe due process of the law was there. There is, in my opinion, a lot of things that are suspect. If an individual is guilty, then he or she is guilty. We don't have to plot, if we got them dead to the right,
That's right.
This is a very strange case because we, when we go into the courtroom and we swear on the oath that we're about to tell the truth, then we should tell the truth,
Yeah.
But we don't convict on hearsay, and we don't convict with no evidence whatsoever, But I don't know who brought it up. I think it might have been Maxine that brought it up. Is that there were other kids in the house prior to these two sisters coming in, and nothing ever came up about them. And I'm sure the police have spoken with some of them by now.
Yeah.
And if it was something that it would have came out by now. But I'm going to ask each one of you to do something for me, please. And I want you to go last, Celexia. Jamie, I'm going to start with you. If the sisters watching you tonight or will see this video, what would you want to say to her?
I would say, don't fight the feeling of wanting to clear her conscience. To tell the truth. Just tell the truth. And it's not the way it may look. It may look like, man, it's going to be so bad, but it's going to be really good if you just tell the truth. That's what I would tell them.
Okay. Yolanda? I can't hear you. Your mic's off.
I don't think so. Can you hear me now?
I hear you now.
I would just share. I definitely agree with what Jamie just shared. One thing I want her to know is that we don't hate her. Yeah. We truly do love her, her mother. We love all of them. Yes. We're just asking, for the truth to come forward because this is no place to work, wish upon your worst enemy. Yes. I just would ask that they would just let truth come forward, and help let the light shine, and expose the corruption, because we're dealing with not just them, we're dealing with a corrupt system. That's right. So we're asking for truth to come out to, as Black people, we already have it hard as it is.
Exactly. Maxine, where are you hiding?
I'm right here, Scott.
What would you say to her tonight if she sees this video, she's watching it live?
I would say to her, first of all, that I love her. And I know she would feel so much better if she just came forth and told the truth. Yeah. And I agree. Don't fight. Don't fight it. The truth is going to make her free. That's what's going to make her free. So this is what I would say to her. First of all, let her know that I truly love her. I always have, always will.
That's right.
I want her to be free. Yes. And the truth is the only way that's going to happen.
Mrs. Mitchell.
Yes.
She's looking at you now. And since I've been speaking with you all, I'm going to say this here for about 2 months, nobody has ever said anything negative about the girl. Mm-hmm. And I think that speaks volumes for you all. If she's listening tonight, Mrs. Mitchell, what would you say to her?
I would say to her, just as my family has said to her, I would let her know how much I love her, how much I'm still here for her to continue, helping her in whatever way I can help her. And just like Jamie said, just tell the truth. It's a lot easier than you think, and it will make you feel a lot better than what you're feeling right now. But I would definitely let her know how much I love her.
Okay, Leah, my good YouTube friend, what would you say to your friend this evening?
If I say that I love her, I don't hate her, and the only thing that I want is for her to come forth and just tell the truth and help get an innocent man out of prison.
Yes.
You know, and like everyone else was saying, it would be so much easier for her not to have this on her conscience, not to feel weighed down by the guilt, for sending someone to prison. To know that life would be easier. It'd be so much easier for her. And, that it would be the right thing to do and not be ashamed or feel like what someone else might say about her or to her, but know that she's doing the right thing and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Celexia, this is your sister, and I know you love her, and I'm sure she still loves you, but something somewhere had got in the middle of this family. And again, I'm not saying he's guilty or saying he's innocent, but in life, most people will believe a lie before they believe the truth.
Yes.
And that's because a lot of folks are messy like that. But this is your sister.
Mm-hmm.
This is your sister, and you probably know her better than anyone on this live feed tonight.
Yeah.
What would you say to your sister?
Well, I would definitely say that the lies that you told, it hurt me. It really did. You going along with our parents like this, it hurt. I will let her know how our mother came to me and asked me would I be willing to lie on Pastor Mitchell and say that he sexually assaulted me. But I told her no, and how I didn't go along with that lie. But ultimately, I will let her know how much I love her and that I forgive her. And that there is nothing she could do that could ever make me hate her. And that I would love for our relationship to get better, back to where it was before the closeness that we had. And I would just really let her know that I really love her, want to hug her, and that she's greatly missed. But all she has to do is just come forward, tell the truth, clear your conscience. It feels so good to agree with truth and to tell the truth and take a stand like I did. I chose not to go along with the lies. It's a matter of the choice, and I would encourage her to do the right thing.
One thing and I think some of you touched on it, especially Jamie, we have to remember a child's state of mind. And if an adult who should be teaching a child right from wrong, good from evil, tells a child something, then that child respects that adult.
That's right.
And then even if it's wrong for some adults, that child will do as they're being asked to do or they are being told to do. And so if it turns out that he is 100% innocent, then, and none of you did, but I'm just saying this especially to the viewers, no one can ever, in good conscience, if you have an ounce of God in you, blame the child for what has happened.
That's right.
You can't, and you all are a bunch of loving people, and I don't know what's really going on, but something's not right somewhere. You know what? Even if somebody really, if he did it, if we didn't do process of the law, then the system is wrong.
Right.
If if you're not scared to let someone speak, then that means that you're doing the right thing. But when you hold certain people back from speaking, or when you withhold evidence, then not only do we have to question this case, we have to question every other case that this county has done.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And one thing that I know, I don't know if you all are rich or poor, but in a courtroom, it's easy to convict the poor, especially black, whether you
That's right. So true.
have money or not. It's easy to convict the poor.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But I hope the pastor knows that he has some people that are behind him. Even if he comes out of this here, I think I shared this with Mrs. Mitchell. Somebody's going to be in the back row saying, he just got away with it. He did it. That's okay. You can think what you want to think. You can believe what you want to believe. But when you walk up into a courtroom, the burden of proof is on the state.
Yeah.
We can't convict because Lucy said John did this and John. Lucy, where's your evidence?
Yeah, but they made the burden of state on him, and that wasn't right.
Exactly. You take Donald Duck. He'd have been to every court in the land on this voter foolishness. You mean every court agreed that you lied? You filed papers, but you filed without evidence. And that's not how we do this in the United States.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's right. That's what we believe.
That's what
I've been to prison. I've been there. And I was guilty. I've been there. I was guilty. I saw Jamie Brooks. I was like, what? Yeah, I've been there. I was guilty. I did it. But I do know that there are a lot of brothers and sisters behind bars now. What they were accused of doing. That's why I'm so against, when I used to be for it, but when I got older, began to understand the system, I'm totally in disagreement of the death penalty. Because do you know how many men and women have been killed a few days later or a few weeks after the state executed them? They found out they were innocent. So how can allow the death penalty to go on when some people are later found after be innocent after they're dead? This is not a do-over when you execute somebody.
you don't get a do-over, right?
You don't. But when you send a man to prison for something that he didn't do, I went on something I did. So I don't know how that really feels, but it's got to be devastating, especially when you have a prefix in front of your name that says pastor.
Yes.
And if I can't
and the charge, and also the charge.
The charge, exactly.
Yeah,
and
because
that type of charge will get you beat.
That's what I'm saying. Because Mr. Scott, I've been to prison, and I was guilty. So it's one thing to go to jail, go to prison when you know what you did was wrong. You can do your time because you were wrong. But to sit in there and know that you're innocent, that's something I don't know, but I can only imagine. You know, having to deal with that on a daily basis, especially here in Texas.
Exactly.
And see, I've dealt with my number of courts, whether it was in Texas, whether it was in Mississippi. I've been in them, and I know what a kangaroo court looked like. And I've never seen a court like Montgomery County. They are comfortable with the way they did that, Mr. Scott. They very comfortable. And now there is another case. There's another case that came into that court that they got out of it because of the lawyer, but they did the same way. Everything they did on this case with Pastor Mitchell, they did on this other case, but this attorney got him out of it. What was it, y'all? They didn't have no evidence.
But
they had to drop the case. But this case here, they put so many things in limine where it couldn't come out. So that's what it was. See, the witness wasn't able to say anything. And so that really hurt the case.
That's not due process of the law.
It's not.
If you drew up papers, then that tells me that if you drew them up, you believe that this person is guilty. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're guilty, but you drew them up and, well, there's enough probable cause to do this and to do that. Now, sometimes there's probable cause to arrest, but not to take the trial.
Right.
But we don't want anyone convicted for a crime that he or she did not commit. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what the hell you believe.
Yes.
Yes. Into a court.
That's right.
I don't care if somebody done it 20 years ago. That don't mean they did it today.
Yeah.
I mean that, you know. But without the right attorney, a person will rot in jail.
That's true.
They will die in jail over a lie. And usually after they die, for some reason, it comes forward that they were innocent. So sometimes I believe the DA knew this, but for my record, I'm not going to say it. Here we are. Right?
You're right.
And that's not right. So I appreciate you all coming on the show tonight. I know this was hard for you guys to do, but any way that we can help you all, you know, we're more than to do that for you. And
we just need everybody to know, Mr. Scott. We just need everyone to know the truth about this case. We just needed to get out to as many people so that it can reach the right ears.
Yes.
So that, you know, it can someone can raise up a voice about it.
That's right.
And I'm glad you said that, Jamie, because I'm sharing this with Celexia and Mrs. Mitchell, that the case is being heard, but it's not being heard by the right people.
That's right.
And so that was one of the reasons we agreed to take on the case and to bring you all on, because again, umpteen time, I can't say he's innocent, can't say he's guilty, but something that's suspicious in him. It's just it is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. You know, it's just as simple as that. Now, before we get out of here, I love you all. Thank you all for coming on the show. All of you who watched the show tonight, I apologize for sitting there for 37 minutes talking to the family, and we thought we was on live. We was all sitting there looking super stupid, and then, you know, we'll deal with that later. But look, as you know, we do not charge anyone when we take their case. When you donate to this channel, then you foot their bill. So if you're able tonight, we ask that you would donate to the Cash App or the PayPal account. That includes the family that we're in the room tonight. Just don't y'all feel shy to do what y'all need to do and stuff, you know. But look, we love you guys, and if Lord willing, we'll be back tomorrow night again. From my heart to yours, I mean, I said whatever we can do to help you all, because I believe something in here, it's just not right.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll be there. So who wants the last word, and we're gonna get out of here? Jamie?
Yolanda.
Well, Maxine.
Okay, listen. I'll say something. I want to thank you for having us on tonight. I really appreciate that, and I thank everyone that did tune in. And I just, you know, I pray that everyone, you know, just hear what's being said, and just see right from wrong in this here. You know, that's what we're asking, because anybody that just hears something like this, I'm speaking from experience. When I heard something reported on the news, it's like, man, he did that. That's the way the news reported.
Yeah.
But when the evidence come out, when you got our witnesses right here, we're not, you know, making nothing up for nobody. So I just thank everyone for tuning in again, and you know, we look forward to coming back, giving you some more information, because it's definitely some more. You know, we went through all of the transcripts on this, stuff that they wouldn't tell, stuff that they wouldn't allow to come out. We have found this stuff out, and it's jaw dropping, because if this stuff came out, he would not be where he is right now.
So true. So true.
Yeah. Jamie, I tell people all the time, just because someone has been accused of committing a crime does not necessarily mean he or she has committed a crime. They have been accused.
Accused. That's
but
right.
immediately, if you're low in understanding, you will let mainstream media become your thought process.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Because they're going to paint certain people out to be something that they're not, like a monster. And so when you see that, why did he do that? He hasn't even been to trial yet.
Yeah.
That's right.
But it's the way we receive the information, it's the way relays it to us. When you in our minds, their person, their guilt or innocent, but they just got arrested. Oh, I know you did. I know you. You don't know nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
You don't know nothing.
That's so true.
But we have to realize this. You have to dissect everything.
Yes.
The police will tell you what they want you to know. The police go into the courtroom every day in the United States and do this here. I solemnly swear to tell a damn lie, and that's what they do.
That's
it.
That's it.
I don't believe nothing a police officer said with me until I die. You got to prove it to me. You have to prove it to me. It's as simple as that.
Mr. Scott, you keep telling the truth. You just keep telling the truth.
That's it, brother. I'm telling the truth and dodging bullets on the white folks and the black folks.
You just keep on. Martin Luther King did it. You can do it too.
Do you know they killed him?
Yeah, but you know, he
I would die telling the truth. It's just
he made a difference. And you making a difference.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And that's exactly what we're
You're welcome.
We ain't gonna live forever.
No, we're not. You guys are welcome. You guys are in my prayers. And again, Jamie, all of you, I'm here 24/7. You guys give us a call. I know you guys are going to be back on air with us. Tell the pastor I said hello.
Yes, sir. Thank you again. Good night.
Thank you, viewers.
Thank you.
I'm outside with Injustice Investigations. Thank you all for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. Remember, I'm not always right, and you are not always wrong. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.